Okay. Okay. Hey, good morning, everybody. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So today we're going to be making color wheel pizzas. And color wheels are tools that artists use to explore color relationships. Mixed with one of my favorite wheel-shaped foods, pizza. So everyone has one sheet of white paper in front of them? Okay. So there's going to be a lot of steps in measuring today, so if you guys can pay close attention, that'd be really helpful. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our first sheet of white paper and we're going to fold it in half hot dog style.
Like long and skinny. Hot dog style, long and skinny.
Yep, so long ways. You're just going to fold it in half, match up those corners, and then crease it on that fold. Make sure you get a nice tight fold. Then as soon as you have it folded that way, you're going to open it up, and then you're just going to fold it the other way, hot dog, or short ways. I'm going to zoom out. And they're not going to stay folded. We're just doing this to get those lines. Okay. Crease that. Oops. Keeps that down. Okay. Okay. And so when you open it all up, you should have 4 of these quadrants. And then you're going to take one of your pencils. Okay, you're going to take one of your pencils. You're going to find that point where these 2 lines intersect. So you're just going to look for the center of the paper. And you're just going to make a little dot. So right where these 2 lines, the 2 folds cross, you're just going to make a little dot. So you know where the center of your paper is. I'm going to zoom in. So, right there, just a little dot in the center. Okay. Okay, does everybody have a center dot? Okay. Okay, so now you're going to take your scissors. I'm going to zoom out real quick. Okay. You're going to take your scissors, and then you're going to look at the top of your paper. So you're going to hold it portrait style, so the short side is against you. So you're holding it just like this. And right across the top, you're just going to cut out a little strip. You're just going to cut all the way across the top. Not too far, though. Just a thin strip.
Guys, if you're at a table that doesn't have those scissors, share your
Okay. So now you have your paper and your little thin strip. So you're going to put this piece of paper, the one that you just cut from, just going to put it to the side for a second. And now we're going to focus on this strip of paper that we just cut out from the top of our paper. And I'm just going to zoom in here so we can see what we're doing a little bit better. Okay. You're going to grab your ruler. And then starting just a little bit from the edge of this paper, you're going to make a little dot. Just a nice, tiny, tiny dot. And I'm going to zoom in so we can see everything. Okay. Can everyone see this tiny dot I made? Just a little dot right there. I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to measure 4 inches from my dot across long ways. So I'm starting with the very tip of my ruler at 0. I'm starting on that dot that I made, and I'm going to measure 1, 2, 3, 4 inches. And I'm going to make a dot right at 4 inches. So I'm going to zoom in just a little more. Okay. So I should have 2 tiny dots 4 inches apart. Okay. And so now you have your 2 dots, again, 1, 2, 3, 4 inches apart. You have all of this excess sort of tail. I'm going to zoom out again. Okay. And so after that second dot, I'm just going to cut off this extra bit. I don't really need it. So now I just have a shorter strip of paper with my 2 dots. Okay. Now taking the sharpest tip of the pencil that you have, or take your sharpest pencil. I'm just gonna zoom in here. I'm just gonna poke a hole right through where I made these dots. So really gently and not too far. I'm just gonna push my pencil through and make a tiny, tiny hole. Make sure to be really careful. You don't want to rip the paper, but you're pushing a hole and all the way through. That's one, and I'm going to do my other dot. Okay, so now I have my little strip of paper with 2 holes that I made with my pencil. Push it a little bit. Okay. Oh, once you got your 2 holes poked through on your little strip of paper, you're going to go back and you're going to grab that first paper that we started off with, that we cut off from, where you drew that tiny center dot. Make sure you see where that dot is. Okay. Okay. Does everyone have 2 pencils? Okay, fantastic. Okay, so you're going to push one of your pencils through one of the dots. It doesn't really matter which one. And then you're going to line up that pencil with the center of your paper right here. So I'm just going to put my pencil tip right on the center where I made that little dot, and I'm going to hold my pencil here, making sure that it's not going anywhere. And then I'm going to grab my second pencil and put it through that hole, or the other hole, and then I'm just going to move this pencil around and making a circle. I'm making sure not to move my center pencil. And I'm just going to keep going around really carefully. Oops. Okay. Oop. Really just carefully making a circle. Okay. Okay, and just carefully work all the way around until you have a circle. Okay. Oh, the screen turned green. It might help if you have one of your friends hold the paper for you. Just hold it down while you do the circle part so the paper doesn't slide around too much. Okay. What time is it?
I should have just busted out my compasses for this.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, I wasn't sure who would have them, but that would have been that would have been much better.
I'm not 100% sure. You might want to ask future classes because I think on one of these classes last year they sent us some. So
Oh,
you might ask just to see.
okay,
But mine already got them on there, so we're good.
gotcha. Okay. Oh, so does everyone have a circle? Okay. So now you have your circle. You're gonna bring your ruler out again, and then you're just gonna look for the. I'm just gonna start with the top edge of my circle, and I'm just gonna make a little dash right on that line. It doesn't really matter where it is. We're just gonna use this tiny mark as a starting point. I'm gonna zoom in a little more just so we can see a little better. Okay. So this is my circle. I just made a tiny mark. I'm gonna use my ruler again, and I'm gonna start right where this line intersects this line, right at that dot. And then I'm gonna measure 4 inches straight across until I hit the edge of my circle. So when the edge of my circle hits the number 4, I'm just gonna make a little mark at the 4. Oops, you can't see what I'm doing. Okay. So you're just measuring 4 inches from that first mark you made, anywhere in the circle. Just measuring 4 inches, and then you're making another mark right at the 4. Okay. And as soon as you do that, you're gonna just keep going around the circle, and you're gonna do it again until you do it 2 more times. Okay. Okay. So again, starting from my mark, I'm going to line up with the edge of my ruler, and I'm going to slide my ruler until the 4 hits the edge of that circle. Oh. Right, and now hit the edge right there. And so I'm going to make another mark at the 4.
Hey guys, if your pizza shape is bigger, like if you didn't exactly get 4 inches, then this will be a little bit off. All you're doing is looking at the paper and like, how many slices should there be?
How many what? Oh, there needs to be 6 slices. So it's okay if they're a little off as long as we have all the colors there. I think that's the most important thing.
Okay, so Because some of them are off, and they're like, mine's too big for 4 inches. So,
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, just try to get them as evenly as you can to 6 pieces. Or if it does help, and it still is a perfect circle, the radius of the circle, so the half point between the center and the edge of the circle. So this is 4 inches. So these are 4 inches apart. So if your circle's like 4.5, then these would also be 4.5. Okay.
always just splitting up that circle into
Okay. Sorry. Okay, so I'm just gonna make my way around the circle. Again, I'm measuring 4 inches because that's the size of my circle. Okay. I'm just gonna go all the way around. Okay. Okay. So once you have your marks made on the outside of your circle, you're going to start drawing lines and connecting them to make our pie slices. So just pick a point, doesn't matter where you start. Pick one of those marks you made on the outside of your circle and get your ruler, line it up with the center point, again, the very center of your circle. So I'm just lining up my ruler with these 2 points, and I'm just going to draw a line across my circle. Then as soon as I do that, I'm just going to move on to my next mark, this one. And again, I'm going to line up my ruler with this mark and the center dot.
Guys, you're just splitting up that circle into 6 pieces. Just split up your circle into 6 pieces.
Okay. One more time, lining up my outside mark with my center dot. Okay. As soon as you have your 6 slices, it doesn't really matter if they're perfect slices or not, or if they're a little bit bigger or they're a little bit different size, as long as you have 6 of them. That's the most important thing. As soon as you have those, you're just going to label them. So we're using 6 colors today. So make sure you have all of these colors labeled. So that's purple, red, orange, yellow, green, and blue.
So label your 6 pieces on your circle. Label them.
Oh, I figured just label first and then we're going to cut everything out.
Okay, so label it first, so they're in that order, guys, and you be in that order.
Okay, so we're not going to see our writing later. We just want to make sure that we don't forget any colors, just so everything is accounted for. Okay, so as soon as you have all of these labeled, you're just going to cut everything out. So you're going to cut along your pie slices and you're going to cut the circle out. Or I guess cut the circle first, and then you're going to cut your pie slices. Okay, so again, once all of your colors are labeled, you know that you have every color written down. You're just going to cut out your circle, and then you're going to cut out your pie slices and put them in a nice little pile so you don't lose them. So I'm just going to cut out. Okay. And once you're done cutting those out, if you guys want to grab a glue stick. Is there an issue? Okay. What? Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
My question, are they cutting out their pie pieces as well, kind of like a stencil?
Yes.
Okay. So guys, this is okay. When you get to this point, right here, when you get to this point, you're cutting this as well, right? When you get to this point, you're cutting this out and putting this in the circle. So go ahead, cut out the circle, then also cut out your pie pieces.
Okay. Oops. Once you have all your pieces cut out, you guys can still be cutting if you need to. You're just going to take each of those individual slices that are labeled, and you're just going to match them up with the construction paper that's on the label. So I know my red. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to glue my red pie slice I'm just going to glue that right to the edge of my red construction paper. So red on red. Okay. And then once that's glued on, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just going to cut that out. And I'm cutting it out using my white pie slice as a guide. Oops. Okay. And I'm just going to keep moving around. I'm just going to glue each of these pie slices to their respective colors. So I'm going to glue my orange labeled pie slice to my orange paper, and I'm just going to cut out until I have all of my colors. Okay. So I'm going to put a pile. Here's a list of colors if you guys still need it. Orange. Orange. Yep, as soon as they're glued on, you're just going to cut them right out. Or you can glue them all on at once and then cut them out in a batch. Doesn't really matter as long as they are cut out in the end. Okay, I'm just doing. Okay. Oops. Okay, gonna do blue and purple. Purple. Oh. Okay. 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 Okay, so I think we're getting close to the end here. But if you guys want to watch me quickly finish this just so we know how to do the next steps. So I have all of my colors here, and I have a second sheet of white paper that I'm going to glue these down to, making sure to glue them in this order. Okay. What I thought was really fun was just cutting off a little strip off of the top of each of these pie pieces. And then switching them to complementary colors. So cutting just the tops off, just so I have different colored pie crust. And just matching them up with whatever colors on the opposite side, the complementary color, because it provides the greatest contrast. Okay. And then once you have everything glued down, I like to use the same sort of color scheme to make toppings. So when you're done. Okay. Okay.
When do we disconnect with you?
Oh, what was that?
I can't remember when we disconnect with you. I don't know when you connect to next class.
Oh, I think it's 10, but I'm not, I don't need to go anywhere, but if you need to disconnect, that's fine.
I think it's going to take us a minute to clean. I'll have them keep working for a little bit. But I would definitely ask, don't you do Scotland Park next?
Is it do what?
Don't you do Scotland Park next?